Up in the cool, elevated town of Lake Cebu, daily life moves at its own pace. But just like anywhere else, the community relies heavily on the electrical grid to keep things running smoothly. For a small local business like a sari-sari store, electricity is a baseline necessity. Keeping the drinks cold and the lights on draws a constant stream of energy, and the monthly cost directly cuts into their bottom line. When an unusually high bill arrives, the immediate reaction is usually the same. We assume our habits haven't changed, which leads to the conclusion that the meter on the wall must be broken, or the electric company is using some kind of dark math to inflate the numbers. But the truth is much less sinister. That meter is a completely objective machine. It acts like a detective, recording the cold, mathematical reality of exactly how much energy flows into a building. The confusion usually starts with the units themselves. If you look at an appliance label, you'll see a number in watts. It's easy to assume that's what you pay for at the end of the month, but the electric company bills you for something else entirely. Power, measured in watts, is the rate an appliance draws energy, like a water hose's diameter. A wider hose moves electricity faster. Energy, in kilowatt hours, is the total volume used, like water collected in a bucket. The equation, energy equals power multiplied by time. The math gives us a very clear target. If you want to lower the final amount of energy you use, you only have two options. You must either reduce the power requirement of your hardware or reduce the time those appliances are turned on. Let's isolate that first variable, power. The goal here is to lower the electrical draw of a device without losing functionality. Take a classic 60-watt incandescent bulb. It draws a significant amount of power. But a modern 9-watt LED bulb provides the exact same level of brightness while drawing a fraction of the electricity. True electrical efficiency means maintaining your useful results while lowering the cost of the input. You get the exact same brightness while mathematically shrinking the number of watts required to produce it. Upgrading hardware also creates secondary benefits. An old incandescent bulb wastes most of its energy by producing heat. Eliminate that heat with an LED, and any fans or air conditioners in the room won't have to work as hard to keep the space comfortable. Every time you swap out an old bulb or replace an outdated appliance, you lock in a permanent daily reduction on the power side of the equation. Now we turn to the second half of the formula, time. This is where energy waste tends to be entirely invisible, quietly running up the bill while nobody is paying attention. Consider phone chargers left plugged into the wall. Even without a phone attached, they draw a small amount of phantom power. Because they do this 24 hours a day, that tiny draw multiplies over the weeks, steadily adding total kilowatt hours to your monthly statement. A larger version of this problem is the refrigerator paradox. If a fridge has a torn rubber seal on the door, cold air constantly escapes. The appliance's rated wattage hasn't changed at all, but the compressor has to run constantly to replace the lost air. This chart compares the daily energy cost of that leak. If a damaged seal forces a 1 kilowatt refrigerator to run for 15 hours instead of 10, the math is brutal. Those 5 extra hours compound daily, adding significant volume to your final energy usage. Ultimately, even the most energy-efficient appliance on the market becomes a financial liability if the time it spends running is left completely unchecked. But there is a strategy that bypasses the hardware entirely. By altering your immediate environment, you can drive both the power and time variables down to zero for hours at a stretch. In a dense, hot urban setting, residents rely on electric fans and air conditioning units continuously. But places like Lake Cebu possess a geographical advantage with a naturally cool, elevated climate. Simply opening the windows allows the fresh lake breeze and natural daylight to sweep through a room. You get free cooling and free lighting, completely eliminating the need to pull electricity from the grid for those tasks. This is contextual energy efficiency in action. It costs nothing to open a window, yet it is a highly effective way to let nature perform the work that electricity usually does. Every monthly bill serves as a direct mathematical mirror of how energy was managed. The final total is a record of a household's specific habits over the previous 30 days. By auditing your appliance labels, fixing broken seals, unplugging idle chargers, and taking advantage of the natural breeze, you systematically eliminate the waste hidden in a home. Once you understand the strict mathematical relationship between power and time, you remove the mystery from the meter. You replace frustration with complete control over your energy costs.